think it's 22nd today. Another rain day. I've already been cutting back a lot of the blossoms that aren't doing so well anymore. Irises being the latest of them. Alright, this video is actually going to be for Lillian. Our water buckets are doing really well. Being raised up, and I put the hose into a conduit, so I don't have to try to mow over it. Just a real quick little speedo garden tour here. See if you recognize that, Lillian? Yeah. This is, well, everything here is new, really, right? This is the second season. And I keep adding flower beds. Of course, I had to redo this gateway. I didn't do it well enough last year and the storm tore it down. But just as well, it needed to be redone. Needed to be done properly. Okay, so let's see if we can... Friends got carrots growing here. Their carrots always take so long to start, it seems. So they're doing all right. We've got quite a few carrots, a few different areas. Carrots just on this side of the onions. I'll catch up with that later. Tomatoes, peppers, beans down this aisle. Beans, like wax beans, green beans, yellow beans, all the way down to that gate. More beans here. Never harvested the rhubarb this year. It wasn't big enough to worry about, and we have quite a bit in the freezer. And some more onions and carrots. That whole row is carrots on both sides, onions down the middle. Not a lot of tomatoes, not many peppers this year. Oh, wait, there's a few more peppers here, so. This is not the clematis you sent home a couple years ago. I wish it was, because this one's not very pretty, the flowers, but at least it's growing this year. I'm not sure what else Fern has in here. More onions. And then we've got a little bit of lettuce here and some beets. And a couple cucumber plants are doing okay in there. That is all, oh, it's not parsley, what's that other thing? You know, cilantro. That's cilantro. This is mostly pumpkin, though. We had not a lot of stuff. We had enough stuff die, so then we had a lot of volunteer stuff come up in the garden. So it's probably not all pumpkin. There's probably squash. Of our two big squash areas, this one's doing a little better. Potatoes are doing quite well. Last year we lost literally 1/4 of our crop. And starting about this time of the year. So everything looks good so far. Just wanna, these are gonna be the first brown-eyed Susans are gonna blossom. And I don't know, they just seem to do so well, right? They're all over the place. The back side of this fence, that's beans again, by the way. There's also some red scarlet runner beans among them. With the backdrop of quite a few different flowers, but mostly the brown-eyed Susans. They just seem to grow here so well. Something we can grow without killing them. This squash crop here, it's coming along, but it's behind. Just a few peas for fun. Beans. On the other side are some sunflowers. A lot of them didn't come up. And then some specialty like gourds, different pumpkins along that area, and a few garlic. Now, just gonna quickly take you to the new gate I just installed. Oh yeah, I mentioned in the letter or in the text, the tent. So we can sit out here. There's a lot of bugs here, unfortunately. So if you imagine, just for future, if you imagine from this post right here, that rebar, and go over 20 feet to my left. I'm going to be building a big shed right up to that fence, and I'll take that fence down. Not a shed, it'll be like a garden gazebo. And on the left side, the last 5 feet by be 10 feet deep, 20 feet wide. The last 5 feet on the left will just be garden tool shed. So the inside for sitting area, screen front, will be 15 by 10, and that'll be replacing that parachute, basically. The parachute. There we go. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this here. Kind of silly. Last year, this whole area last year, up into the fall, was full of bush, 4 foot tall, 5 foot tall bush. You couldn't even get a rabbit through there. I tore it all out, pulled out all the roots, dug up a flower bed, planted lawn. All of that to get at chokecherry trees, which line the whole left side basically. One here as well. I wanted to have access to my chokecherry trees. So that was a lot of work for a few chokecherries, but it won us that distance from there back to here in our yard too. It was totally inaccessible. So what did I do with all that brush? You probably already know this, but I started making it a pile, but I thought, well, I don't want to just make a pile, so I made like a tent. But then the heavy snow caved it in, started caving it in over the winter. So just the other day I framed it up a little bit. There's a little bit more framing to go in, put a tarp above the framing as you can see. And I've got some just mill cut rough spruce 1x that I'm going to frame it out with. Just instead of just making a big pile of rubble, I thought make something of it. And those 2 chairs will go in there once the project's done. So it's kind of a, I don't know, call it what you want. I'm calling it the Beaver Lodge or the Beaver Hut now. Alright, this whole flower bed along here, which was sort of created last fall. And everything in here, except seed is growing there, a lot of brown eyes again. But everything else was transplanted. I don't know what these are. They end up being like a sunflower, but they're not sunflowers, but they mimic them. And they were all growing in this wider area here, along with grass and weeds. It was just a great big pile of grass and weeds and junk. So I cleaned it all up, transplanted that whole row of them to spread them out a bit. Also planted sunflower seeds in behind them. So you can see the odd sunflower that's actually coming up. So it'll be sort of a double row of sunflower-esque and sunflower plants. And a bunch of lilies that were growing here too along the front, and all kinds of other seeds we just threw in that we had. So that sort of is a quickie tour. Though I see it's already 8.5 minutes. I guess that's not so quick. And we do have this Virginia creeper growing up in a few places. We're encouraging it, and eventually we'll run along the fence until we probably say, oh, that was a stupid idea. So my rubber boots are doing the clopping. We had a big wind yesterday. I wasn't even, well, the night before, wasn't even sure if I'd have my tent up in the morning. Tore off a branch off of my lilac tree here. But I really didn't think I'd have the tent. I thought it'd be plastered up against this fence here. Fortunately, that did not happen. It's a good thing I secured it with 2-foot rebars into the ground and then fastened the rebar to the metal outposts on it, the corner posts. All right, there you go. There's the quick tour. And it's actually, what the heck, eh? It's our second season. Feel like we're doing okay. I'll feel like I'm doing really good once that shed is sitting right there. Looking into the garden. We'll see the whole garden from the same spot. All right, ciao.